Welcome everybody. This soul connection is going to be slightly different than they normally are. Normally I do have a guest who has some sort of talent, skill, healing capability, whatever it is. And I just said fitness. So I guess I have to add fitness. I'm going to have to add fitness. I've never had fitness, but Spirit's like fitness. All right. So fitness it is. Wellness, spiritual, psychic, energy healing, shamanism, the whole thing. So apparently I'm going to add fitness. So I'm going to write that in right now. And they just kind of share like what they're doing and how they can help you and introduce you to them and all the things. But this time, oh, Hannah has somebody for me for fitness. Awesome. Thank you. Since it's a new year, a lot of people do resolutions, right? So I thought, okay, what is a way more creative? And when I mean creative, using energy, because you guys know me by now, I'm all about energy and how we can harness it, right? As humans, we're sci-fi. There's Mia. As humans, we are really sci-fi, and we don't understand that, and we don't know that. And so once we learn how energy works and just all those things, how we can use energy to our benefit, just to navigate this human experience so much easier, right? So, so this Soul Connection Sunday is going to be a bit different because we're going to do some exercises. We're going to do quantum techniques, which means getting into the energy and the vibrational field. So we'll do that. Normally the way I do these, I give a little introduction. So it's just me. Hi, Terrie. I'm rolling solo today, but with you guys. So I'm not completely solo. Yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and read the message from Spirit that I channeled for everyone here this morning. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an energy shifting exercise where we're going to get ourselves into alignment so that we're a lot more clear when we do these intentions, not resolution. And I'll explain the difference and how it's actually, judgment. We humans love to judge, compare, all those things. I want to say like better, but not necessarily better, just maybe and hopefully more successful. I don't know how to say it. It's just the human ego wants to come up with all these ways to label and, just so that we can feel and understand. But I want you guys to feel it. You guys will feel it. So that'll be that. And yeah. So, I just lost somebody. By the way, you guys, once I get going here, if I lose you and if we're in the middle of a meditation, I may not be able to grab you back because I can't. It's hard. The energy flow is just, I don't want it to disrupt everybody. So please forgive me if for whatever reason you leave and then you can't come back. I do apologize, but I'm trying to keep a flow and a rhythm for everybody in their own channels and synchronicities to appear. So thank you guys all so much for being here. It's so lovely to see each and every one of you. Some of you I haven't met in person yet. Maybe one day I will. Some of you I haven't even met online yet either. So it's so lovely to meet you guys and to see you guys. Put names to faces and faces to names. So welcome. Thank you for being here. I want to start out reading this. Oh, I can't do both. Shite. Stand by 1 second. Gotta love technology. I want to read for you the message that I channeled this morning. So the way I typically come about, or I do any channelings for at least Soul Connection Sunday, because on YouTube, my guides will just come through and they're like, just say something, just do this. And I'm like, okay. So I just get on and I just do the thing. But for the Soul Connection Sundays, I sit here and I say, what do you want me to share with anybody who attends Soul Connection Sunday or who watches it later on? So that's how I curate, I guess you can say. And then I just sit there and whatever comes through me, I type. This morning, I didn't really have a chance to spell check and to grammarize and all of those things, because when you channel, you're a conduit, you just do. So please forgive me if anything sounds a little weird. The message is pretty clear, I believe, and if anybody wants to share anything that they received from the message, or kind of like struck a chord or whatever, I'd love to hear about it, but only if you want to share. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but I will always ask to know what your experiences are, because I'm curious. And it's a way to connect, because I guarantee you somebody else also had either the same experience or you're leading them to have an experience. So we're all here to help each other. So here we go. Here's the message from Spirit that I channeled this morning. And this is the 5th one. Can't believe it. Mama Pajama. Okay, here we go. Transformation may seem painful from an outside perspective, and it's an alchemy of energy. At its barest form, energy is subatomic particles moving and dancing at speeds and patterns. When you take evolution and transformation from a perspective of dancing particles, this process doesn't seem so painful. It seems elementary, fundamental, basic. How you perceive this information is where the illusion comes from. Your lenses, your points of views, your perceptions have been formed by creativity of the mind. Experiences have happened, yes, but the ego is the story creator so that you can live through all of these different kinds of experiences. And the memory is what keeps yours there. The memories are thoughts, and the thoughts are energy. And the ego creates the story. And the story remains intact as long as the imagination keeps the memory. As time evolves and your story is kept, your non-transformation continues on the same path that you're on. So therefore, the story becomes the memory. In actuality, the memory no longer exists as it once was. It distorts and now becomes the story. The memories may fade, but the story has now been built, like a house that you now live in. Houses are torn down and rebuilt all the time. Sometimes it's fun to watch it be destroyed, and sometimes it's painful. Either way, in that act of rebuilding, transformation is happening because everything is energy. At its most basic function, the subatomic particles are now something else and ready to become something else. Those subatomic particles don't have the stories that you humans do. So for them, their constant restructuring and rebuilding just happens without any judgments. Built, destroyed, very cyclical. You must know that energy can never be destroyed. Even a house gets rebuilt. Energy just transforms from one form to another. Your stories are energy, and so many of you are holding on to them, allowing you to color and live your human life without any storyline change. Since everything is energy, everything gets transformed through evolution of time and space. That is the nature of energy. It doesn't stay the same. It expands, it shrinks, it's constantly changing. With your story, your human life can't change because there is no transformation of it. there is no opportunity to become anything else other than what already is. In order to become, there has to be something to come into. Living in the same house with the same energy doesn't allow for anything different. It becomes painful for you because your desire for something different to happen or appear has been activated. But no transformation of energy is happening. Stagnancy becomes deadly to an ever-evolving soul. It's the nature of energy to transform, transmute, and alchemize for evolution. You are energy. Therefore, it's in your nature to transform, transmute, and alchemize your evolution. Your stories keep you trapped in a non-expansive house. It's imperative to your growth and expansion that you take note of your stories from an observer perspective. You are no longer in the stories. When you are a witness to the current reality you are experiencing, you wake up from the storyline. The house begins to crack and will lose its foundation. Stepping outside of the storyline as an observer now allows you to rewrite the story. Transformation can percolate in the background, and the subatomic particles of you can move faster or slower and in variant patterns. Your energetic expansion can begin to shift and evolve as you're supposed to in this human experience. If you can step aside from the ego, you'll notice that the storyline doesn't even matter, that it's more pliable and flexible than you thought, because it's actually designed to move along forward. Taking the ego out of the storyline gives you an opportunity to step into your creator ability. You are made in the image of the Creator, which gives you the ability to create. So your transformation is creation, and the energy already exists. It just needs to transmute for expansion. Hot damn. Hot damn. I'm just gonna unmute you guys for a sec. Hold on. Wait. This is the part where everybody gets to laugh at how Terrie does not know how to use tech. Okay. Does anybody want to share any insights or anything that might have come up? You don't have to, but if you do, I'll just quickly share that. I don't know if you guys are, I don't know how familiar any of you guys are with like manifestation processes, law of attraction, or any kind of reality creation modalities, because there are several. But that one reminded me of transurfing. I don't know if you're familiar with transurfing. Again, it's just another modality. And the whole idea with transurfing is that we're living in a dream, meaning our experience, and we have to wake up from the dream, right? So we come out of that reality. That's kind of what this reminded me of when they were talking. When I say they, I can't identify who they really are. I don't know. It could be spirit, it could be family council, it could be star guides. I mean, I don't know. I just call them Team Terrie because I know they give a shit about me. That's all I know. That's all I care. I'm a human being. I got to take what I can get and like try and, make sense of it in a way that I can sleep at night and like try and understand and navigate my way through this human experience. So what I thought was super cool about this message was how, stepping outside of whatever your story is. And we all have so many stories, you guys. It's not just one story. We have a story about pretty much everything, right? And the ego is not a bad thing. The ego gets a bad rep. I don't know how many of you guys have heard, most of the time people are poo-pooing on the ego, the ego saves our human container. You know, the ego helps us discern, well, what's good for us, what's not good for us. The ego is not all bad. But if we're here to evolve and shift, and our ego is going to, you know, sort of just keep us confined to a house or a storyline, then it's not in our best interest. So we kind of have to go, okay, ego, like, what can you, or I'm not going to listen to you right now. I'll listen to you when I'm in actual mortal danger. But right now, I just have to make a decision. I'm not in mortal danger. And that's what you're here for. You know, so it's just rather interesting, I think. Does anybody want to share anything or say anything? Ashley.
Yeah, so I'm literally going through an actual transformation right now. And I don't care to actually share this, but I actually decided to separate from my husband.
Oh, you made a decision. Okay, great. Great.
Yeah, so I'm still living in the same physical house that he is. And now I'm trying to like find other places, you know, to live and stuff like that. And for me, this was almost like a literal message. So
Yeah.
it was crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Ashley. Well, this is going to be a really great exercise because now you can hopefully create for you like the perfect living situation, and you can even go further. I mean, we have a limited amount of time, but you can use the same exercises to create how you want the separation to go. And then if you guys come back together, and then, you know, if you do have to divorce, like at that, you know, like how everything can come together to navigate your experience as easily as possible. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing, Ashley. Noreen, did I see a hand?
Yes. So on New Year's Eve, we sort of do this thing when Dino and I stay home and we spend a New Year's Eve at home.
I love it.
We sort of do like a salt bath to cleanse our auras. And the next morning, all of my worries that I'd been sort of previously thinking about, and, you know, things that I've been kind of just holding on to, just expelled.
Wow.
But then the same day I spoke to a family member, and my ego kind of brought me to a place where I was fighting with the fact that I had already let that go and certain things go. And then the next day as well, I had spoke to somebody who disrupted my ego again. And it was just like, I thought about it last night and for parts of yesterday, and I was like, why am I allowing these people if I've already removed myself from being back at that house, if you will, disrupt me, when I know exactly in my mind and in my soul that I have come to a place of calm and recognition of moving past all of that and past these sort of physical feelings, because I know something higher and better is actually coming. So that was for me like an interesting also interpretation in terms of like the ego manifesting, and then just sort of like the dream and the alchemy of like physical reality and, you know, sort of dream reality, where your intuition is speaking to you.
Right. Yeah, so here's the biggest thing that I'm constantly reminded of, and I'm sure many of us are, just in different ways, because each of our soul experience is different, is the fact that we do live in a physical reality. And in this particular experience that we're having, we're human. Okay? Which means we have to wear an earth suit. Right? Which means we are bound to the laws of the planet Earth, gravity, just whatever it is, you know. Like, so we have the human earth suit has a nervous system that whenever the brain, and this happens before, so it's like there's our non-physical us and then there's our physical us, right? So energy will penetrate both at the same time because we're both. So there's kind of like, there's physical us, non-physical us, and then there's non-physical, physical us. So there's like 3 different kind of perspectives, yes? So when energy comes in, light codes, whatever, from wherever, even if it's someone else's fields comes in, it's going to hit both of us at the same time, meaning the physical and the non-physical. So when the physical gets hit with an energy, whatever, it immediately is going to set off the human nervous system because something's different. Something is different. And that's where our non-physical self is going, oh, okay, there's an energetic shift. So it's so human that whenever there is any kind of energetic shift or change or something, the human brain deems it as dangerous immediately, within seconds flat. Or less than a second. I don't even know how fast it is, but it's like, it's just different, but different doesn't mean bad. But the human nervous system goes alert, alert, alert to save the human container. So even though something doesn't seem like it's like a really bad or big deal, to the physical part of ourselves, it is, because we're bound to the humanity of the planet Earth. So that's why we will always, 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 as long as we're wearing our Earth suit, we will always be triggered very fast. So you can clear shit up as much as you want. And I'm just being blunt and honest, and this is just the way it is. And any of you guys who know me, this is the way it is. We can clear shit up as much as possible in that moment, in that now moment, in that time and space. But being bound to humanity, we will still always be triggered. I call them flare-ups because it's not like we don't know what's happening. And it's not like the energetic part of ourselves isn't helping heal. We're healing, we're getting over. But because we have a human container and we have a nervous system, anytime there's a shift in energy, no matter whether the energy is a positive or negative, it doesn't matter. The brain will just deem it different and immediately activate. So all we need to do, and Noreen, it sounds like that's what you were doing, was you were just coming online. You were like, okay, let me shift into that non-physical part of myself and go, okay, that non-physical part of ourselves can then activate the physical part of ourselves, where we can use the human earth work or even shadow work or whatever to go, okay, I'm going to get back into my body because I'm outside, right? I just got scared shitless for whatever reason. I'm going to go back into my human container. And once I'm in my human container, I can go, okay, I got this. I'm not in any mortal danger. I'm fine. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And I think also, like, just, before I was about to fall asleep on that Friday night, I heard like a voice call me by my nickname, like a male voice, but it was a very gentle male voice.
Nice.
And I often hear this gentle male voice like at random moments when I feel in conflict.
Yes.
Like there's a disparity between those three elements, that you mentioned: the physical, the non-physical, the physical, non-physical. So yeah, like it 100% makes sense.
I feel like we get smarter, or we can be the smartest human possible when we understand there's three aspects to us. Because then we can kind of like, when those aspects of us come online, then we can actually gain some sort of control, or at least a sense of control, because that's what being human is. It's like there's being thrown at us all the time. We're just like, here, do this, deal with this. It's like a horrible game of Frogger. For any of you guys who know what Frogger is, I'm probably dating myself. It's a video game back in the 80s. But at least having some sort of like coming on, I call it coming online. When I'm working with my clients and I'm coaching them, I'm like, okay, are you coming online? Right? Where's your energy? Right? We throw our energy, we leak so much of our energy. And so when we come back into the body, and it's usually a somatic experience that has to bring you back into the body, because once again, we are bound by the planet Earth. Look, if we were on Venus, we'd probably have different issues to deal with, right? We'd be in Venusian suits, right? And we'd have to do things differently, but we're Earthlings. We're human beings. We be, and if our human brain within less than 3 seconds is going to make the discernment. Well, it's not a discernment. It'll actually deem danger because it's different. Discernment, that means you're actually online and then you connect with your intuition. That's actually what 2021 is about. That's all of it. But you know, then you can gain some sort of control, right? So you can go, okay, like I can feel, and we'll be going into this a little bit more. Or actually I guess we can start chatting about it now. Yeah, because we can I want to be flexible, especially for today. It's like, let's just fucking see what happens, you know? I'm not going to be bound by no earthly ways right now. Fuck that shit. No, the universe, because everything is energy, words don't have frequencies, feelings and emotions do. So you can talk all you want about something, which is why, you know, so many people are like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then it never happens, right? Because words don't have the energetic frequencies. Feelings do. Your feelings are your frequencies and your vibrations. Remember in the message, they're talking about subatomic particles. I mean, this is science. Depending on how fast or slow a particle moves or what pattern it kind of shapes itself in will depend on how dense or thick or how light an energy wave is, because energy comes in waves. There's light waves, there's X-ray waves, there's Wi-Fi. We can't always see it with our physical eye, right? Like we're all using Wi-Fi here. Are we seeing those subatomic particles moving in certain waves, you know? So we are made up of matter and energy, and the slower particles move, the more it becomes tangible and physical. We can touch shit, right? We feel it, like your laptop, right? Or your phone, whatever, you know. The patterns in which they're moving create who you are, what you look like. So Terrie vibrates like this. Now, what's interesting, you really want to go down a rabbit hole, which we don't have time for. What if I look different to each and every one of you because your brain is interpreting and sensing using its physical senses? What if your reality of what I look like is different than yours and yours and yours? We're not going there. That's very, very quantum stuff, which we're going to touch on some quantum stuff. But my point is that energy behaves a certain way, and that's what they're talking about. Frequency. They're talking about like how fast how fast particles are moving, and vibration is the pattern, the design, right? So Dino, your vibration, you know, your pattern vibrates to make it look like you, right? Taylor, your glasses, right? They're vibrating in a certain way to appear as glasses. Makes sense? So when we're both, it means we've got a physical and non-physical side of us. So the best way to navigate our way through humanity is to embrace both of them, right? So it's some really interesting, weird shit. Does anybody have any questions so far that they might want to ask about, or oh, hi Mia, nice to see you. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Do I have everybody on my one screen? I can't tell. Yeah, I think it's all on one screen. You know, Zoom does this whole thing. Okay. All right. So do you guys know what the quantum field is? Anybody know? Does everybody understand a little bit? Let me just share with you a little bit about what the quantum is, so that you can have a better idea of like why the buzzword is quantum these days and all of those things. So basically the quantum it's a field. I'm looking at my notes here. Okay, it's a field of energy. Okay, it's invisible. It's got all of this energy. It's got waves. Okay, it is energy. It is not particles. So let me just quickly explain that. Remember how I said, like, depending on how fast particles are behaving or moving. Particles, when you put them together, when they're slower in movement, it's matter, like our human body, we can touch it, right? Waves are not particles. It's literally just energy. Okay, so we're dealing with particles, which create matter, and waves, which have just data of information on it, all kinds of information, light codes. These are those ones and zeros you learned about way back in the day when we all first learned how to use a computer. So the quantum field is an invisible field of energy. There's just data and information. It exists beyond the realm of space and time. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Let me explain this. So the quantum field, no particles, no matter. You guys understand that, right? Which is why the way we are right now, we cannot go in there. Okay. So I couldn't grab Corey's hand and go, hey, you want to go hang out in the quantum? And she'd be like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let's jump. Whee! Like, we can't do that, right? Because we have to make sure that we are in a certain energetic signature or an energetic consciousness of of all wave, which means we have to get out of our body. Okay. So we cannot go in with our body. We can't take a pen with us. We can't take our cell phones, none of that. How we do that is we get ourselves into a state of consciousness or awareness away from our body. There is no time. There is no body. There is no place. There is no thing. It's just your consciousness. It's it. It's just you. Thoughts exist in consciousness. So yeah, you would be thinking. No problem. But you wouldn't be scratching your head if you have an itch. Like, you wouldn't feel an itch. You wouldn't, none of that. So that's the quantum field. All energy, all waves. It's it. There's nothing. It's just vast. It's just empty vastness. No container, nothing physical whatsoever. But there is a shit ton of information. So the only way to actually get into the quantum field of energy is to be energy. Pure consciousness, pure energy. So you have to leave your mind and body at the exit or at the door. Since we live in the physical reality of the third dimension, that means that there's time and space, right? So when there's a space between two things, point A and point B, you can see that there's a space between there. That means it's going to take some time to get to point B, right? If point A and point B were already together, this wouldn't be the third world. This wouldn't be the dimension of reality we live in. That's actually the fifth dimension, where everything is right here, right now, all the time, which is the quantum field. Ooh, Celeste, you got lucky. We didn't start the meditation yet. Maybe that's why I wasn't going to do the meditation yet, huh? Hi, Celeste. Welcome. So we have a quantum field here where everything is right here, right now, all the time. There's no space between things, so there's no time. So let's say I want to go to Disneyland. I'm in LA. Disneyland's in Orange County, right? Here's Terrie's house. Here's Disneyland. Got to get in my car and drag my physical body, drag my car, drag anything tangible or physical to Disneyland. Right? But if Disneyland were the quantum field, boom, Terrie and Disneyland are like right here. Does everybody understand that concept? The reason why, this is super important. The reason why is because remember, physical matter moves slower than energy waves. Does that make sense? So I'm taking a physical object, a human body, a car, to Disneyland. So it's gotta move slower. If by any chance the car and the body were just energy, and here's Disneyland, they're already here. So there's no need for time. Everybody get that? I know it's kooky, but it's like once you grasp that, it makes everything so like, it makes your reality like a whole other concept. Please, if you have any questions, please ask me. No question is ever too stupid, and I may not even know the answer, so I might have to get back to you. No shame in the game. I'd like to think I know everything, but I don't. So everybody's cool with that? Yeah.
So are you saying that feelings are energy, or is feelings part of okay.
Yes, feelings are energy because they are energy in motion, but there are layers to it. So remember I was talking about slow moving? The slower, we can call it an energy wave, I guess, if you want. I just feel like, because particles are actually matter, whereas feelings and emotions are energy, they're not matter. Because matter is something you can touch, right? You can't touch freedom. You can't touch depression. Does that make sense? So that's why it's still an energy. Particles, maybe the easiest way to look at this is particles are physical, waves are energy, even though both are energy. But it's easier for the human mind, or for us. I like to try and make things digestible. Like, I want to understand this shit, right? So particles are slow moving waves, physical matter. Energy is not tangible. You can't touch it. However, now it's not necessarily a caveat. It's kind of like next level when we come to emotions and when we come to creating our reality and creating life, you know, and making the best life for ourselves and getting ourselves unstuck and moving forward. So first, I just want to make sure everybody understands the quantum field is just this vastness of just energy. There's nothing physical. There's nothing tangible. You can't get there with your human body. You have to get yourself into a certain, if you want to call it headspace, it's really a consciousness awareness where it's just your consciousness. That's it. So it takes practice, and it's meditation. I mean, like if you want to really just get it down to its bare bones, it's meditation. But there's different ways to meditate. So that's a whole other thing. I'm telling you, there's a lot to this. There's a lot to this. Okay. So Sarah's like, oh. I love it. Okay. So now let's talk about how words and feelings, just to sort of piggyback. Well, does anybody have any questions about the physical and the non-physical part? Everybody's clear on that? Matter versus energy, generally speaking. Okay, cool. So, oh, Sarah, yeah.
Sorry, can I ask a question? So it's like all these things are always existing at one time in this reality, and it's just about what plane we're energetically connecting on at that moment. It guides what access we have to what field. Is that kind of it?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Just so you know, like it's the third dimension. It's of all the dimensions, it's only the third and fourth that have time, which means that there's space between things. Time can only exist when there's space, and whenever there is space, there is time.
So if I went to a different dimension, I wouldn't have to age. I'm into that.
Well, those are the energies that we're able to now access in 2020. Like there's been an ascension since 2012, but 2020 is like what broke us. If we're smart, we learn how to manage our energy, and then we can, you know, I've been to the quantum many times and so grateful and so thankful. It is the most fucking amazing thing ever. And I just want to live there. That's it. Just want to live there. But it takes practice, and I don't always, just because I want to go doesn't mean I do always go. Again, human bound by human gravity and all that. This is like physics. This is the science part of the woo, right? That's why I love this. It's like, this proves the woo. Yes. Right.
So can I
Yeah.
So, just in terms of like, getting yourself to be able to access this quantum field, like you said, you have to go through obviously like a lot of meditation. Would that be like astral projecting like outside of your body so that you can?
Lucid dreaming.
So sometimes it happens like automatically, like you said, lucid dreaming. You just automatically, your body shuts off, your mind shuts off, and you just pure consciousness.
Yeah. Look, people can do it like this. I mean, it's not to say, remember Bewitched? She should just go, right? I mean, people can do that. People can do that. They know how to manage their energy so that they do that. Now, the human part of themselves may not know that they know how to do that. And they can just fucking bypass that shit and go straight to their non-physical. Yeah. Most people can't. So I'm talking to most people. If that's you, Dino, I'm envious as shit because I think one time I astral projected. One time. I think I went to like the angelic realm. I had a conversation with an angel one time. I was like, what is this? But I've been to the quantum, which technically is, it's still everything. So it's like everything is everything. It's like we humans just want to put labels on things. I mean, when it comes down to it, does it really matter? No, it's all about, can you harness your damn energy and what can you do with it to help not only yourself, but humanity?
It would be the Akashic realm, basically.
Yeah.
The ethereal realm.
Yeah.
There would be like different levels, like you say, like levels upon levels.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are like dimensions based on, again, it's all frequencies. It's all energy. It's all frequency. I mean, there's a 9th dimension, and supposedly, and there's so much. And I mean, like, I know maybe this much, maybe even less than this much. And there's like this much, I think it's the 6th dimensional beings or the light beings that could come to Earth. We're not ready yet. Our bodies are learning how to ingest light codes, and we're learning how to, like, everybody here in this call, like, clearly has an interest in this, or their higher selves knows that there's some truth to it. Even if I'm not saying it the right way, my energy frequency is vibing with yours, where you guys understand or get something, even if it's not on your human level, where there's some sort of truth because it resonates with you, so that you go, okay, well, I'm going to learn how to do this too, because for whatever reason, I mean, I think it'd be really cool to just be able to navigate this human experience so much easier than I am. I don't know about you guys. Plus, it'd be really cool to see some fucking aliens. Just saying. So it's all energy. It's all about being able to harness and control it. And everything is made out of energy. This pen, just remember, it's just how fast the subatomic particles are moving that make it look like this pen and be in this physical shape. I am this pen. This pen is me. Makes sense? Do you guys understand that? So we're all here, like we're all one. Each and every one of us here, we're all one. That's the law of one. What is it? The one drop in the ocean. So that is the reason why we want to work on ourselves, because what affects us has ripple effects to the rest of the world. So everybody's so worried right now. I'm about to say something perhaps controversial, and that's fine. I got to speak my truth. But everybody's so worried about helping others in the collective and, fighting for this and fighting for that. Fucking fight for yourself first, because you heal yourself, you will heal everyone else. You want to say something, Celeste? I'm sorry. No, you're good. You were just, yeah, okay. I got you. That's the thing. It's like, it's not selfish, it's self-care. And if I'm a shitty human and I put out shitty humanness, well, guess what? We're going to have shitty humanness. It's the law of one. So that's why it's like, you got to take care of yourself first. You got to take care of yourself first. All right. Totally going off topic here. Back to, okay. So everybody understands what the quantum field is. Everybody understands. In the quantum field, it's where all possibilities lie, all timelines, all choices, every option that you could ever possibly want. Okay. Let's see here. Is there anything else? Potentials and possibilities, right? So let's say, God forbid, right now you have cancer. I'm just saying, God forbid, right? Well, guess what? You go to the quantum, there is a timeline there that you don't have cancer. So guess what? You can jump onto that timeline. Holy shit. Right? We don't know how to do this because we're human. Until we understand that we're human and non-human, then we can start learning. It's a process, okay? I don't want to make this seem like, hey, excuse me, bing, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm going to India. I mean, some people can. Again, some people can. I'm talking to most people. I am most people, just so you know that. I don't have like major, maybe I mean, I can talk to dead people. Maybe that's like the most spectacular thing. I don't know, but you know, I have manifested shit from nothing because I'm learning how to, you know, harness my energy and all that. So the whole idea of creating reality is choosing timelines, choosing just different options than what we have right now, right? So if you're really unhappy with where you are right now or some aspect of your life or something, guess what? It's a choice you're making to stay in that storyline. It's a choice you're making to stay in that timeline. It's a choice that you're choosing to live in that house. And I know that sounds awful to hear. I'm a truth teller and I'm a truth seeker. And there are areas in my life where I'm like, this fucking sucks. I got to get out. So I got to go, okay. So how does that all work with energy? Every choice we make takes us onto a different storyline. The only way we can know that is by becoming the observer. Remember? So that means we have to step out of ourselves. So we have to go, okay, this is the choice I'm making. So this choice is actually taking me into this storyline. This is the movie I'm now watching. You know what? I want to recast that movie. I want to actually edit that movie. I want to change that timeline. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a different choice right here in the now moment. Everybody understand that? Every single moment now is the now moment. In other words, the past doesn't exist. Future doesn't exist. Reality is what's going on right now, right now, right now. Wait, hold on, guys. Oh, here comes another one. Right now. Right? The problem is we're time travelers. It's good and bad. The shadow side of time traveling is we'll be in our present, but we take a lot of our past with us. All those stories come with us. So every choice we're making in the now moment is based on the past. So we're living in the past present. So therefore, any choices we make right now are going to be a future past. Do you understand that? So we have to constantly, all the time, every single now moment, make a choice. Now, we can choose to stay and take that same action in the now moment, or we can choose to change. And anytime we make any other change other than what we're choosing in the now moment, guess what that creates? A new storyline, a new timeline that we've just jumped. So we don't have to go to the fucking quantum field to create new timelines for ourselves. We just have to be in the now moment. So what I do when I'm coaching people and stuff, I'm helping them get into the now moment. That's all my work. That's all I do is help them get into the now moment so that they can actually create a reality for themselves, right? We don't have time to do that right now. And it's so individual, so fucking individual. But the main thing is, here's the main thing. Being human automatically gives us anxiety. And when we are anxious, we cannot access our intuition. We can't. So we have to learn how to balance, manage, and regulate that anxiety to be able to tap into the intuition, which is that now moment. Makes sense? So here's the thing. If you know that if you know that every now moment exists, and if you know that you can make a choice, any choice, whether it's the same choice or a different choice in that now moment, you are at I call a power point. So we're constantly at a power point. We're constantly creating reality all the time. Makes sense? It's just, what are your choices in the now moment? I make, and probably will continue to make some pretty shitty choices in the now moment because I'm human. So that's where self-compassion has to come in. It's like, I gotta go, okay, that's fine. I am where I am. Where I am is okay. I'm gonna accept this. That's another frequency. You know, I mean, there's so much to this. But anyways, we have a lot more power, and we can create more control of ourselves by understanding in every single now moment, we have an opportunity to create a new timeline. So that's one aspect too, right? Okay. So for today, there's one other thing I want to explain to you, which are the emotions. Where did my friend Mia go? Did she leave us? I think Mia left.
I didn't leave you. Sorry. Like, I can't unmute myself.
Mia's here. So emotions, because this is super, super important. Emotions are energy, it's frequency. There's an emotional scale. You can feel this in your body when I feel good and when I feel bad. Let's just make this super simple. When we are having emotions that make us feel bad, we are feeling lower, slower frequencies, okay? Now, I'm sure we've all heard this in the spiritual community. I don't want to hang out with that person because that person's too low vibration. You guys heard that? Like, I can't go to that park. It's too low vibration. Fuck that shit. You do not have to take on that vibration. Just because someone else is having their own human experience with that vibration, let them. It's theirs. You're not, and then there's the empathic thing where you stay in your own channel and then you, whatever, right? But let's take judgment out of low vibration, shall we? Low vibration just means a slower moving frequency. That's it. There's no judgment. Subatomic particles move in a certain way. They give none of the fucks. So why should you? It's just a slower moving frequency. That's it. So when you feel bad, okay, fine, you feel bad. You can put judgment on it if you want. It's really just an indicating signal of where your energy is. Where's my energy? I'm feeling despair. Okay, that's good to know. Does it feel good? Not necessarily, right? But it's an indicating system. I'm like, all right. So that is a slower vibrational frequency. When we're feeling elation, woo, that's a much higher, faster frequency. Let me show you. This is going to be a slower, denser frequency. Can you guys see that? Do you guys need me to autograph this? Because this is art. No? Okay. And then this is high frequency. Faster moving waves. Slow moving waves, faster moving waves, right? So when it comes to energy, faster frequencies will actually absorb slower frequencies. It's called entrainment, and then they'll synchronize. So heart coherency, brain coherency. So this is why we can fucking get ourselves out of despair. Now, can we go from here to here? Can we go from here to here in seconds flat? No. Do you guys remember why? Because we live in a time-space continuum. And there's what's in between here? Space. So it takes time, yes? So all we got to do is feel relief, just a little bit of relief, and it starts to close the gap. And then we go up to here, and then we get some more relief, and then we go up to here, and then guess what? We're already up to here, and what has this done? Absorb everything. It's called entrainment. You guys have seen it with seagulls or schools of fish. All of a sudden, everybody's going that way, or everybody know. It's like there's no leader. It's just automatic. It's called entrainment. So we can get ourselves out of depression, out of despair, all that. It just takes time because we live in a dimension where there's time and space. So a lot of us were trained in manifestation that, oh my God, this shit's going to happen right away. It's not. There's a gestational period. That's reality. There's a gestational period. Some people can seriously manifest really fast. Like Dina was saying, you know, there are people who can astral project. Yeah, there are people who can do this. I'm not talking about most people. I'm not most people. You're not most people. Sorry. Sorry, guys. You're not most people. But that's also a good thing. You're not most people. Isn't that beautiful? So that's why it's super important for us to always know how we're feeling. That's why I'm always asked, like, if you watch me on YouTube or whatever, I'm always like, what's my line? I just totally blanked out. How's your heart? How's your heart? How's your heart? What is your heart feeling right now? Right? It's just an indicating signal. There's no judgment. There's no judgment. So yeah, I'll go hang out with a low vibrational person, because it doesn't mean I have to be low. And it's not even like a low vibrational person. It's just that that's where their energy is. It doesn't mean I have to take it on. And it doesn't mean that that's how my energy is. It just means that's how their vibrational frequencies are moving. And guess what? I can actually, since my vibration is higher, guess what I can do? And train them. Right? I can suck that up. That's why most of us here want to help humanity, want to do something somehow, have a message to share with the world, whatever, beauty, joy, elation, whatever it is because you have this energy. You're here for a reason. You've got a gift, you've got a purpose to give, all those things, right? It's high vibration. It's okay for you to hang out with low vibration people as long as you're not feeding into the judgment of it. Makes sense? It's just energy. It's just the way, it's just the behavior of subatomic particles. They give none of the fucks. You know, so you see somebody in the street and they look all depressed, you just go, hey, I like your jacket. All of a sudden they're like, thanks. And you're like, see ya. You just move on your way, right? You didn't have to drop your energy to meet theirs. But guess what you did? You helped close the gap for them. It's a whole other, there's so many lectures within this one lecture. So does everybody understand energy? Feelings produce energy in motion. So it's the feelings that will produce that frequency. Okay. And there are lower density feelings and higher, not density, but higher energy feelings. Okay. So everybody understand that, right? And again, it takes time to close the gap between them because we live in a time-space continuum. Does anybody have any questions about that? I know I'm throwing so much out at you guys. I didn't know that this was going to be more of like a teaching thing versus. Yeah.
But just to kind of expand on like what you've been talking about, you know, how, you know, your emotions can affect, you know, energy and matter. Like I saw an interesting thing from a Japanese doctor or scientist, Dr. Emoto. He did this experiment.
Oh yeah, with the water.
And then he like froze the water, put it under microscope, and you could see that the particles, well, the water that was exposed to like, you know, high frequency vibrations like love and joy and happiness and, you know, all these good vibrations, higher frequency vibrations, like caused the matter to like form beautiful crystalline structures, you know.
Yeah.
Like flower of life type of stuff.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you had like water that was exposed to like hate and like just bad energy, just no symmetry, just looked like horrible.
Yeah.
Under the microscope. So it just shows you the power of like human emotion.
Yeah. So what happened? Yeah. So we are electrical beings. Yes. Right. So we have a positive polarity and a negative polarity. Those waves those energies cause what's called a torus field. And the brain is always shooting off electricity, right? So we have the brain and the heart and then the water in our body, so we're basically walking batteries, right? So we're electromagnetic. There's always something going off. So the brain is always shooting off electricity, right? And it's It's part of the control system of the body, right? So what happens is a thought has a certain electrical signature in it, right? So it's shooting off in a certain pattern, electricity waves, or I mean, if you were to look at, it's really cool to watch it. I'm sure there are videos on YouTube of like the axons and the dendrion. I mean, it's like, it can get complicated. I don't like to complicate shit. I want to like make this really super easy to like, you know, help us with our human experience here. Just make it bite size. So what happens is there's in those electromagnetic signals, that is the vibration and the frequency. So if a thought, let's say, is I'm not good enough, that's the indicating a broadcast signal that you're putting out. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And it's causing, that electrical pattern is causing a certain groove in the brain over and over and over again. So it's a neural pathway that it's building over and over and over again. So that anytime anything, again, remember energetically, whenever the body deems something different as dangerous, anytime it's going to hit on that trigger of I'm not good enough, guess what? It's going to be shot out. It's going to go down that neural pathway, right? So what happens is our thoughts produce our feelings. So that thought, I'm not good enough, produces some sort of electro, like it's our broadcast signal. So that's what I'm putting out there. Now, energy either repels or attracts. So here's where law of attraction kind of comes in. Energy either repels or attracts. So if we're putting out the signal of I'm not good enough, guess what it's going to do? It's going to repel anything that is good enough and attract anything that isn't good enough to match that frequency. Does that make sense? So that's why it's super important to always know how you feel, because then you will know what your reality is going to look like and what you're going to be experiencing in the now moment. Now, that's not to scare the fuck out of you by going, oh my God, if I have a bad moment, guess what? I'm fucked. I'm only going to get shitty, crappy things, because this is where it actually gets beneficial for the space-time continuum, because remember, it takes time to close that gap. So if you're here saying, I don't know, maybe you have a vision. Remember, vision is a thought. It's just in the, it's just being the data and information is being received by the eye. Of like you walking down the street and breaking your ankle doesn't mean that when you walk down the street, you're going to break your ankle. Unless you've already been put for a while where you've been creating that neural pathway. Does that make sense? So there is a space that's a benefit for when there's time, you know, because then you don't have to break your ankle right away. You can actually then bypass that. Does that make sense? Does that help, Dino?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. So that's why it's super important for us to always know, what are we feeling at any given moment? And that's not to say I'm a fucking failure because I had a bad thought. Guess what? You're allowed to have bad thoughts. It's just how often are you going to have that bad thought? Because you're building a neural pathway and it has a certain energy and you're going to be sitting in that energy. And then that's the energy that you're going to get. So
stay aware of.
Yeah. So Ashley's like, don't stay in that energy. And Dino's like, yeah, you don't want. So the idea is really not to dwell. You don't want to dwell. Your PowerPoint is when you can come into the now and you go, oh, I realize I'm dwelling. I'm going to make a choice right now. I'm either going to choose to continue dwelling or I'm going to choose not to dwell. Usually it takes an action to break that. That's a whole other thing. There's like so many, all these different detours we're taking. So does everybody understand this? Anybody have any questions or anything? So it's just really important to know like how you're feeling at any moment, and don't judge yourself. It's just energy, right? Because you can always change it. You can always change it. And it doesn't have to take long to change. It doesn't. It can actually take seconds. You can just literally clap and you're changing energetic frequencies, turning on your music. leaving your physical environment, changes of your energy. But you have to make that choice in the now moment. Makes sense? You're always creating your own reality. And this is why nobody else can be blamed. This is why we are responsible for our own experience, because it's our energy. It's our energy. Somebody else can be such an asshole and they can abuse us and all of that. And I'm not trying to come off lightly about this, but I'm talking about self-responsibility, because we're always choosing in the now moment. The majority of the time, we're just in this dream. We don't realize the storyline that we're in. So that's why we have to learn to observe, step out of it, and then create a new one. Makes sense? Okay, cool. So let's take a quick potty break. And when we get back, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an energy shifting exercise. And then we're gonna do, you guys all have pen and paper? Okay, cool. Look at Sarah's like, look at mine. And then I'm gonna guide you through an exercise. We'll try and do as much as we can today, but also just know that you can do this exercise on your own whenever, however often. And it's about energy, right? And remember, in order to get to the quantum, we have to be in energy. So, and you know what? A lot of us have probably already been in the quantum, but just not realized that we were in the quantum as well too. So I just want to point that out. The labels fuck shit up. They really do. It's about feeling. That's why it's like really hard. I'm a person, I have a very hard time putting human words to feelings. It's just the way I am, you know? So it wouldn't surprise me if many of us here have actually already been in the quantum field. So I don't want to say like, oh, you have to be special. No, you just have to be out of your mind and out of your body, literally. Rebecca likes that one. All right, so let's take a quick like 2-minute break, and then we'll come back here, and then we'll do an energy shifting session, and then we'll get straight to the thing. See you guys soon. All right. Okay. So I just want to open up one more time for any questions before we start doing this little energy thing. No? Everybody's good? Okay. So for this energy shifting thing, the intention behind it is for primarily heart coherency, but also brain coherency. When the heart and the mind are coordinated, that is when we actually create realities. Because what happens is that we're emitting or we're designing whatever it is that we want through the mind, and we're releasing through the mind, and then we're magnetizing and bringing into us through the heart. Now, the heart is where truth lies. The heart is where authenticity is, and the heart is where intention is, and the heart is where your soul pretty much is. People feel like, oh, the soul is here. But the soul is all about the heart, authenticity, who you are really. And it's the Heart Math Institute that has done a lot of research on the heart. I adore them. They have found that the heart has neurons, which are brain cells. So the heart is actually a brain and a heart. How cool is that? So what they're finding is that the heart actually has a larger electromagnetic field and is the largest electromagnetic field of the body. So it's bigger than the brain. So when the heart and the brain, which are the two biggest electromagnetic centers, are open and beaming, that's that ripple effect. That's that energy that's being sent out to other people and also being brought into yourself. So that is where and why we can transmute and alchemize those lower density feelings like despair, anger, frustration, grief, guilt, shame, all those. When we take those and we put them in our heart in that huge field, that field takes its extremely high energy and entrains those lower vibrations, like I was telling you here. right? How it eats it up. So the heart will eat up. I like saying that. That's a new one, Terrie. Thanks. The heart, the energy of the heart will eat up your despair, your grief, your shame, your guilt. Yes. And really remember, it's about harmonization and balance. Like, is anything and everything going to be completely eradicated? No, never. I don't want to mislead you. We will have flare-ups. We will forever be triggered. And if you guys remember, the reason why is because we are bound to human ways and the planet Earth and all of its laws and the human container. So, but again, the key is just to manage and regulate it and harmonize, which is that entrainment. Okay, so that's the intention. Oh, Ashley, yes.
My question is, like, would you say that the intuition is linked to the heart?
Oh, without a doubt, that is where your intuition lies. Yes. Yeah. So that's the intention between this, because when we're doing this work, when I mean work, I mean reality creation, we have to coordinate the mind and the brain together. So that means we have to be super clear in not only what we think, but in how we feel. And we have to get our imagination totally and completely active. Like, the imagination is probably the biggest factor. And what I want to do when I say imagination, I want to also kind of link it to trust and faith. So it's like imagination, trust, faith. They're like all kind of one bubble, I guess. It's hugely important when you're doing this work. Now, in order to get to that place, you gotta be calm, right? So far this morning, I mean, we've been together for a while. Oh, and you have to trust too. So I'm hoping that by now you guys trust me. You guys understand and know how I work. I've worked with several of you before, so you guys know whether I'm bullshitting you or not. So there might be this sense of trust that you already have in me, which I very much appreciate and I don't take lightly. So thank you. Let me just throw in a hearty thank you for that. But when you're doing this work, there can't be any room for doubt. There's just no room for doubt. It's your imagination, it's the awareness of your energy, and it's your trust and faith. If you can get all of those coordinated, oh my God, you can create worlds. That's how planets are created, by the way. Crazy, right? Crazy. Okay, so there may be times I'm asking you to tap on different parts of your body, because there are portals in the body that hold energy. I channel these, so I have no idea what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. So we're all in for a treat. But that's why I put the intention of heart and brain coherency in these. So I might have you just at times put your hands on your heart. I might have you tap on your heart. I might have you put your hands on your shoulders. I might have you tap on top of your head, like on your forehead. I don't really know what's going to happen just yet. I just want you to know that if you don't feel comfortable doing something that I suggest, you don't do it. It's that simple. And then when you find you're comfortable, doing something again, hop back in. Okay. So if I'm asking you to touch your shoulders and you've had a surgery on your shoulder and it doesn't feel comfortable for you, or you don't like to do it, don't do it. It's not going to affect anybody else here. You stay in your own lane. You do your own channel. There's a lot of nunya going on here, which is nunya business for anybody else. Okay. So you do you, boo. So you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. All right. I'm merely making a suggestion. I want you to feel like you're always in control. And I want you to know that you're always in control. So not just feel, but know. Okay. I may have you take deep, well, I know I will. There are deep belly breaths, which is diaphragmatic breathing, which means you're going to fill up your belly with air and then deflate it like a balloon. That helps activate the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that runs from like here all the way to the back of your brain that tells you you're safe. So that's the other idea of this meditation, is just to let you know that you're safe and you can feel safe in your body. Sometimes a lot of us here might be empathic or extremely sensitive to energy. I want you to go into this with the intention. Tell yourself you're going to keep your energy to yourself, please. Please and thank you. Keep your energy to yourself. Stay in your own lane. If you do feel or sense somebody else's energy, just kind of scooch it over. Say, excuse me. None ya right now. None ya. Okay. And that's it. So we can go ahead and we can begin. I'm going to be doing this with you. So go ahead and just close your eyes, and you can have your feet. We're going to be sitting. We're not lying down. Although I know that there's a baby in your belly, Noreen. So I want you to feel comfortable. So you be in whatever position you need to be.
I'm like so good right now. Just as like, cross-legged, we're good.
Okay. Okay. The reason why I want us sitting and not laying down is because we're taking responsibility for ourselves by doing this. Okay. And laying down is a very passive act, and we are not passive about us taking control of our lives and making our lives better. I'm okay with you guys turning off your video if you don't want to be seen or heard, if you're blowing air or saying anything out loud. I'm totally fine with that, but please be sitting up. Just don't be laying down. It's too passive when we need to be. This is an active meditation. Yeah, I think that's it. Yep. All right. So go ahead and close your eyes. And you're going to put your feet firmly flat on the ground, and you're going to have your hands on your lap, either up or down, whatever is more comfortable for you. We're going to go ahead and take in a deep belly breath in. And when you're ready, slowly exhale. Now, nobody else is going to hear your noises. So your body may do things. Just let it. When the body releases energy, sometimes you might fart, burp, cry, sigh. Don't even worry about it. Nobody can hear you, okay? So taking another deep breath in and slowly exhale. We're going to do one more deep breath in and then slowly exhale. And exhale. Now, any other noises that you hear in addition to my voice will only help to relax you further and deeper. I cannot control the noises around me. So just know that whatever you hear is actually here to help you. It's a gift. So go ahead, put both of your hands on your heart. We're going to take in a deep breath, and we're going to hold it this time. I'm going to ask you to hold it for a few seconds before I ask you to exhale. So let's go ahead and inhale and hold it. Hold it. And now slowly exhale. Good. Now we're just going to take one of our hands and start tapping on the heart center. If you find that your hand gets tired, you can switch it out with the other hand, but just keep tapping on the heart center. And what we're doing is we are activating this beautiful heart energy center of ours. So just keep tapping. Then find a comfortable breathing pattern for yourself. And now you can repeat after me silently or simply feel into these words. Even though 2020 was an emotional year for me, I deeply and completely accept that experience. And then take a deep breath and then exhale. Keep tapping. And repeat after me silently or simply feel into these words. Even though 2020 showed me parts of myself I wasn't expecting to see, I honor and respect myself. Keep tapping, taking a deep breath and hold it. And now exhale. Keep tapping. And repeat after me silently or simply feel into these words. Even though 2020 surprised me in so many ways, I am open to learning more about myself. And then inhale, and when you're ready, slowly exhale. Now keep tapping on your chest and just feel into these words that I say. There were so many hard moments in 2020. And they didn't feel good. As a matter of fact, they downright sucked. Keep tapping. Taking a deep breath and then exhale. There were so many moments where I was scared. And there were so many moments of uncertainty that I just felt lost. Taking a deep breath and then exhale. And now just place both of your hands on your heart and just feel into these words. And I'm giving myself permission right here in the now moment to truly absorb the experience that I had in 2020. And just feel into any feelings that might be coming up for you. And as you feel those feelings, see if you can identify what those feelings were or are. And now start tapping on your heart center again. Taking a deep breath and hold it. Hold it. And now slowly exhale. There was so much stress in 2020. So much anxiety in 2020. And there were many, many times that I felt sad. And I'm giving myself permission right here in the now to feel all of those feelings. I'm giving permission right now to all of these emotions to pass through my body. Keep tapping. Take a deep breath and hold it. And slowly exhale. And even though I had those feelings and those experiences, miraculously, I made it through the entire year. Just place both of your hands on your heart so you can stop tapping and take a deep breath and hold it. Slowly exhale. And notice and see if you have any thoughts rushing around in your head. And if you do, that's okay. Go ahead and collect and gather them into your forehead, into the middle of your mind. Just collect and gather all of the thoughts. And see if you can step outside of those thoughts and just observe and witness those thoughts that are collected in the center of your forehead. And then take a deep breath and exhale. At the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to drop all of those thoughts from the center of your forehead down into your heart center. So just like an elevator that moves down the floors of a building, you're just going to drop at the count of 3 all of those thoughts in the middle of your mind into your heart. Beginning to count now 1, 2, and 3, dropping them into the heart. Take a deep breath and then slowly exhale. Now, if for some reason there are any that didn't drop, just know that that's okay. Or maybe even right now, more thoughts might be coming in. Let's go ahead and gather and collect those as well. We'll do this again. No thought left behind, just like no soldier left behind. So let's gather and collect these thoughts into the center of our forehead. And at the count of 3, we'll drop them into our heart. Beginning to count now 1, 2, and 3, dropped into the heart. Take a deep breath. Hold it. And now slowly exhale. And just take your hand and start tapping on the heart center again. All those thoughts sitting in my heart center now, allowing my heart to transmute and alchemize all of those thoughts and any energy behind those thoughts. Take a deep breath and then exhale. Now simply feel into these words that I'm about to say. I am where I am, And where I am is just fine. I've come into the year 2021 much smarter, wiser, and more in tune with myself. I've shown myself over and over and over again how brave I am, how much courage I have, and just how truly open my heart is. This feels so nice. This feels so right. This feels like peace. In this now moment, I embrace this pride and this peace, knowing that I'm one tough cookie. When I look back at the year 2020, at who I was, and I look in the present now moment in 2021 at who I am now, I can feel that I've shifted. I can feel that I've changed. I can feel that I am different. Take in a deep breath and hold it. Keep tapping, and now slowly exhale. Because I'm different, I can now choose different. And I know that at any given moment, I have the power to choose. And that feels powerful. That feels amazing. And that feels like control. With every choice I make, I am in my power. And when I'm in my power, I am thriving. And when I'm thriving, I feel joy. And when I feel joy, I'm connected to myself. In any given moment, I can connect to myself. And when I connect to myself, I'm connected to the divine. Because I have divinity within me. I am part of the divine. I am divine. Take a deep breath and hold it. Keep holding it. Hold it. And now exhale, stop tapping, and place both of your hands on your heart. And just sit for a brief moment in the power of your divinity. Just allow all of your energy that is contained in your human container to spread out fully and completely, not only within your human container, within your earth suit, but allow your energy to push past the earth suit. Feeling that space all around you. Sitting in that divinity of yours, in the space all around you. Taking a deep breath and hold it. And now slowly exhale. Be with your divinity now. Now in just a moment, I'm going to be asking you to cross your arms across your chest. And you'll place one hand on each shoulder. And you'll know when to do this when I count to 3. Again, you'll just cross your arms easily and effortlessly across your chest, and your hands will gently fall on the opposite shoulder. And you can keep your eyes closed while doing this, beginning to count 1, 2, and 3. Cross your arms over your shoulders, placing your hands gently on each shoulder. Taking a deep breath. Exhale. And start gently tapping each shoulder. They will alternate. Slowly open your eyes. As you start to and begin to come back to your current reality, in this now moment, in this new timeline, in this new storyline. And when you're ready, you can completely take your hands off your shoulders, come back, stretch if you need to. Your human earth suit might need a little stretch. Oh. Ooh. How was that? Thumbs up. Oh, thumbs up. Human thumbs ups. Nice. We might still have a few people in the quantum. Oh, there we go. Hi. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Did anybody have anything weird happen? Sometimes weird things happen. Did anybody have anything weird that they want to share about? You don't have to. Nobody? Oh, Taylor. All right, Taylor. Taylor has something weird. Maybe.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I think when we were discussing like all the things that we had felt back in 2020, I find this weird because it felt so almost tangible for me. Is that I saw almost like my old self in 2020, one of the lowest points of like depression, curled up and crying in my room, and then there's my me now. And it just gave me this impression where I walked over to my old self. And I don't know why I received this inclination, but it's like at that time when I kept trying to listen to my intuition telling me everything's going to be okay, it was me of the now letting that person know that everything was going to be okay. And then suddenly I gave myself a hug. And it's like they integrated into me, as in like that past is in the past. It's a part of my experiences, but now I can transmute it and alchemize it to who I am now in this new timeline. So that was kind of an interesting visual experience.
But you also,
great.
But wasn't it also like a sentient experience? Because when you first started, you said I felt. Now you're saying I see. So did you feel it and see it?
Well, because it kind of goes like a moving picture, but it's like I experienced all of those emotions, but then I felt almost like that warmth of a hug, like knowing I felt that. And just that voice in my head, it's like, oh, so that was me letting myself know at that time to keep trying to keep moving forward. So that was kind of like an interesting kind of like awareness that, I think was the trippiest part, is like, oh, so that old self that I heard that voice of, the hope was me all along.
That's super cool because that's a type of time travel.
Yeah.
In psychology, they would call that reparenting. So, but you did it from an energetic perspective. And that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. There is actually a technique of rewriting the past. And that is, you kind of automatically did it. You didn't have to make the effort and put the intention in rewriting your story, which is actually a quantum technique. So that's awesome.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to remember that now. What did I do?
Oh, you know where to find me. You don't have
of course.
To now. You can always reach out. You don't have to find me. We can do shit like this on our Patreon. So it's all
heck
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Thanks, Terrie.
Of course. So that's super cool. Now, what was interesting is like I felt my ego go, oh fuck, Terrie, because I led you guys, and I was like, no, Terrie, just trust it, because I led you guys to go back to 2020, and then what are we? What is today? January. Today's only 3 days into 2021, and in my brain, I'm like, they haven't been far enough into 2021, And then I'm like, Terrie, just Nanya. So I had to like do this whole separation thing, because even though, see, that's the thing, is like energy is so fluid. Right. And Rebecca, as an astrologer, this, like planets line up at certain times, or energies time, the whole thing, but energy is just fluid. So just because the date was January 3rd, I had to like get my own self out of my own way by going, wait. They can put themselves anywhere they want in 2021, So I had to like step out of myself. I'd be like, that, which is fine. I'm always correcting myself. That's all I ever do. I cry and I correct all the time. That's me. Anybody who knows me personally knows that. Correct and cry. I do the C&C. All right. Okay. So nobody else wants to share. How about we start doing some quantum exercises?
I'll share my one.
Oh, yes, so I'm so sorry. Yes, Noreen, go.
Sorry. So mine was just basically, I remember in our reading that we had, you told me that I was having a lot of headaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, today, the last time I'd opened my third eye fully was in 2020 because I'd been working on that as a spiritual exercise. And today it hadn't been open since I'd been pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where all the headaches were coming from that you were telling me about in our reading.
Okay.
And so today it opened up, and that was amazing.
But so you don't have any headaches now?
No, I don't have headaches. And today was the first time, I think in about 6-7 months, that my third eye had fully opened up again.
How far along in your pregnancy are you?
6 weeks, 6 months. I want to say 6 weeks, 6 months. 6 months.
6 months. Okay. Girl, you already talked to the baby, right?
Yeah, we speak every night almost.
Okay, good. Do you know the sex of the baby?
Girl.
Okay. I didn't want to tell you in case just, because what I wanted to say was, I think you can start working with her now. If you want to start working with her more energetically.
All right, that'll be great.
Use her as your GPS system. Go, okay, baby girl, which direction should I move in? I know that's seems silly, but I feel like you can probably start doing that now. And I'm so glad you said girl, and I'm so glad that I caught myself and said, just in case you didn't know the sex. Oh, Terrie, no. I have not done that yet, but it's a fear of mine. So
I don't know. Everything's great, and she does guide everything pretty much. Yeah.
She's a special one. I don't remember the reading. You'll have to forgive me because I channel it all, but she's a special one. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And I'm excited for you too. Holy shit.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Ashley.
Hi. I just wanted to say, I guess, during, the spiritual message and just, whenever we were meditating, I just, constantly kept getting chills. I guess that's pretty common and stuff, but I got chills and I almost got kind of choked up, whenever, you were talking about how we need to look at the old us and, and just realize, hey, we're different now. Yeah. And I feel like I've changed so much, in 2020, and I'm a completely different person, in this year. And I don't know, I just feel just so much more empowered now, and I'm finally learning how to connect to my, intuition and, trust my intuition, because it's sometimes, for me anyway, it was hard to trust myself. I always doubted myself, but I don't know. I see myself I've changed so much, and I mean, I'm just really grateful to know how to better trust my intuition now. And yeah, this has been a good experience,
Well, Ashley, there will be many moments where you second guess yourself. I do it all the time, just so you know that, all the time. And so it's just a matter of catching yourself and getting out of it. So it's not that's the thing that I just want to make sure everybody really gets. We have flare-ups. There is no cure. There's no magic pill that takes any of this away until we leave our earth suit. Then there's the magic pill. Right? So there will be, I'll call them streaks, where I'm yeah, I'm going for months, and then all of a sudden something happens and I crash, and it's fuck, man, and that's when I have to bring up all the tools that I've learned, and then just really start implementing. So if it does happen where you're in this place where you're I'm not trusting myself again, just be really kind to yourself, compassionate, get back into yourself, start tapping. This doesn't cost you a dime. Time, yes, because why? From here to here, we have to close that gap, right? Because third dimension of reality. but you can get yourself back too. So I just don't want you to be so hard on yourself, because I'm hard on myself, and that's something I'm always practicing, always, always, always. So, yeah. So great job. Yay. Okay. Anybody else before we head out? Not head out, but head into the exercise? No? Okay.
Wait, I will.
Okay. Yes.
I haven't preference whether I would, but I will. I think that it was wild to me because as soon as I started tapping on my heart center, I kept hearing the word God.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. And then as you closed out the meditation and spoke the divinity, I could hear that same voice laugh. So I feel like I was definitely like in alignment with the reading, and I really appreciated it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. We cannot connect to the divine unless we're connected to ourselves first. And that's actually the whole thing about addiction of any sort, is we're disconnected from ourselves. So this whole thing is just fucking weird. That's all I can say. Being human is weird. Like I have no other way of saying it. It's weird because there's some really beautiful, amazing moments, and then there's some really shitty, crappy moments, and you're just like, well, why is one wet? I mean, it gets complicated, you know? So that's why we just do the best that we can. Do the best we can. And then practice as much preemptive gratitude as possible. That's going to be my segue. Boom. Okay. So everybody's heard about practicing gratitude, right? Gratitude is easy to practice when you've had a physical manifestation to be happy about or grateful for. But what if you're trying to create something that's not here yet? That's when we have to practice preemptive gratitude, which is where the imagination, the trust, and, this no self-doubt whatsoever comes in. So it's super key when you're trying to create something or set goals for something that you practice preemptive gratitude. So that puts you into an energetic space of emotional manifestation. Because remember, there's a gap, right, between what we want, and these are slower. So the things we want are things like money, right? We want a house, a car, things like health. Mine was health insurance. I had a huge breakdown a couple weeks ago, right? So it's like we want tangible things, right? So they're slower. It takes time to manifest these things. So what preemptive, they come though, because it just takes time to drag that physicality, right? So that's why preemptive gratitude is so important, because it's actually the manifestation of the emotion. Does that make sense? So it's not the physical manifestation, it's the emotional manifestation, but the emotional manifestation is what brings that physical manifestation. Super important to know that. So the thing is, and there's so many things, here's some things you need to consider when you're doing this kind of work. First of all, do you feel worthy enough to receive? Even if it's a car or a house or anything like that, right? You don't have to, you can write this down actually if you want. Actually, these will be good prompts for you to write down in case you don't have because I don't think we're gonna have enough time to do everything today. Or maybe I can create a workshop or something, but you gotta ask yourself, there are two questions that you have to ask yourself. One is, are you worthy enough to receive whatever you want? I mean, I think you're worthy enough. I'm sure Rebecca thinks Celeste is worthy enough of receiving what she wants. And I know Hannah is totally, all for Sarah receiving what she wants. But does Celeste, do I believe we are worthy enough to receive, right? And the other thing is, like, are we anxious about this? Right? Like, how anxious are we about this? So anxiety is like super rough because it has so many intricate details to it. It's crazy. And it can show up as depression when it's not even depression. It's anxiety, totally different frequency. So the whole idea is balancing and decreasing the importance of what it is that we want. So let's say we want a house, physical thing, right? I want a house. But I want that house so much that I'm going to put it as if it's worthier than I am. Does that make sense? I'm putting too much attention on it, too much focus on it. So we need to decrease the importance of it. When I'm talking about importance, I'm talking about the attention that we put on it, because wherever we put our attention is where our energy goes. So if we're putting our attention outside of ourselves, there's a certain guy that I want. Well, guess what? I'm taking my energy reserve out of my field and putting it on someone or something else and making that more important than me. Nope. That's going to take it a lot longer to come to me, right? Because I already have it. The preemptive gratitude. I already have it. So it just needs to come to me because I have it. It's already here. It's mine. I've got it. No doubts, nothing. I've got it. And I'm so grateful for it. Right? So we want to make sure that we're keeping really balanced about the importance we're putting on whatever it is that we're putting on. So part of this process is creating an identity for who that person is that has that thing. So who are you, right? You're going to want to write out, who are you? And you're going to list out who you are now. It's now. Not just who are you, but who are you right now? I'm Terrie. I live in West Hollywood. I'm a psychic medium, energy healer, everything, I don't know, consciousness expander. I don't know what you would even label me. You know, I have 3 dogs. Where did I get 3 dogs? I don't. I actually have 1, but apparently I have 3. Ashley has 3 dogs. Rebecca's laughing at me, not with me. That's fine. You know, just like all these things. Who am I, right? So who do you want to be? Got to list that out. Who do you want to be, right? So here's where the quantum stuff starts coming in. Because remember, everything, the universe will listen to you based on energy and frequency, not on what you say. By the way, the cockatoo's screaming. So it's not a 3-year-old child locked in a bathroom, I promise. Just sounds like it. Here's where all this quantum stuff is. And you have to get really honest with yourself. You have to get very authentic with yourself and very imaginative with yourself too. Okay. What are the thoughts that you would be having if you were that person who had what they wanted? Yossi's going to answer for you. What are the thoughts that you'd be having if you were the person who had what they wanted? Right? What are the actions that you'd be doing and taking of the person you want to be who had what they wanted? How would you feel if you got what you wanted? What would you see or feel or hear when you got what you wanted? So those are just some prompts, but let's go ahead and again, this is not the end all be all formula. These are just some of the things to help you start getting yourself into the alignment and start Now this itself could possibly bring everything to you. I mean, why shouldn't it, right? Why not? But there's a lot to this. It's more than just law of attraction. There is a process, but this is a really great beginning process to get you guys going. So here's the thing. This is what I want to do right now with you guys. Mia, can you unmute yourself for a sec? Have you Oh, maybe not. Okay. Have you thought about something that you wanted to create for yourself or you want like an end result in?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind sharing what it is?
I thought of two things that I've been thinking about. I'd like to live in a bigger space.
Okay.
Let's just go with that for now.
Yeah. Love it. Bigger space. Does that space mean apartment or house or log cabin? What does that space mean?
I'd like to be in a bigger condo.
Bigger condo. Perfect. Okay. So that's your end all be all result. I want to be in a bigger condo. Okay. Let's reverse engineer this a little bit. If you had your big condo, we'll just call it big condo. If you had your big condo, how would you feel? What are the senses that you would feel? What, you can use adjectives too. Like, how would you feel?
Well, I think initially I would feel gratitude.
Okay, you'd feel thankful and grateful. Perfect. What else?
I would feel excited.
Great.
I would feel love.
Okay.
I might feel a little bit of overwhelm.
At
keeping it clean. It's bigger, more to take care of.
Okay. I don't want to include that.
Okay.
Only because and I don't want to so it's not that it's not a legitimate concern, it's a concern. But remember, you're creating reality. So if you're going to add in overwhelmingness, guess what you get to create?
So I don't want to be overwhelmed.
Well, you're going to be overwhelmed.
Okay.
In the process, you will. That's the stuff you have to work through energetically to release and let go of. But we're talking about what it is, how you would feel if you got what you wanted.
Okay.
Right? So I have gratitude, excitement, love.
Security.
Security. Good. Let's choose one more.
Gosh, I don't know.
We can stop if you can't think of anything else. It's okay. We can.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you would feel emotionally, right? How would your body feel? What would you feel in your body? If you, how would you feel in your body if you got this big condo because you're feeling gratitude, excitement, love, security? Like, what might your body be doing?
I think I'd feel peaceful.
Well, that goes back to feelings. Peace.
Like what do you
add that to your list though, because you said it.
Cool and calm. Yeah, I'm really good at labeling feelings.
No, I know. I have the same thing. Let me give you an example. Would your body be smiling? Would you have a smile on your face? Would you?
I would look happy, which would be a smile on my face.
Okay, so your face would be smiling. And it's okay if that's just the only thing. That's actually one of them that I had when I was doing one of my things. It was like I'd be smiling so much that my face would hurt.
Yeah. I feel is my go-to.
What would your body be doing?
My body feel. My body would feel, I think, relaxed. Like my shoulders would be back.
Okay, so shoulders relaxed.
Yeah, my shoulders would be relaxed. I feel like my body would be relaxed. It would not be tense.
Okay, so I'll just say body relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can just stop there for a second. Okay. Okay, so this is just an example. You guys can go as deep as you need to, whatever you want. So we're going to say big condo, right? If you were to have your big condo, you'd feel grateful, excited, you'd feel love, security, and peace. And by having that big condo, your face would be smiling so big, right? Maybe your face might hurt. I don't know. And your body would just be so relaxed, right? So what I want you to do now is I want you to think of a scene, like a movie scene. Okay, of you with your big condo. So you could be standing in front of the condo, in the doorway of the condo, in your luxurious bathroom in your condo, whatever it is. But just like, can you tell us what it is?
I see like a dining area with a really long table, with a lot of friends around it, like eight friends.
Okay, stand by 1 second. Are you guys laughing? Are you singing?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Laughing, drinking, joking around. There's some games on the table. We haven't played them yet.
Okay. So you see yourself in this big condo in the dining room area with a really long table. There's about 8 friends. You guys are I keep saying singing. Do you sing at all? Oh yeah, you're a singer, for fuck's sake. I'm like, what? Why is it singing? I forgot. Fucking opera singer. What the fuck? Okay.
Of course, singing.
You don't have to incorporate singing. It just kept coming through. I'm sorry.
I feel like that's just kind of what happens.
Oh, you do sing when you're with your friends.
Yeah, it's usually, like you say something that reminds me of a song and I can't help myself.
All right. So that could happen. Okay. So you see yourself in the dining room area with table. There's a long table. You have about 8 friends. You're laughing, singing, drinking, joking, and playing games. Yeah?
Yes.
Do you smell anything?
I smell pinon incense.
I love that specificity.
It's my favorite one, but it reminds me of New Mexico and Santa Fe where I grew up.
I gotta write the smell. Okay, so you feel with your body, you see, you smell. Let's see what else.
I love I was thinking, I saw like the dining area, but also the other bedrooms, because I love welcoming people that I love into my home.
Yeah, that's going to busy up too much what the intention of this is. Is there anything that you hold or you touch in your home, or that you want to? Do you want a pool? Something of a physical sensation?
I love soft, like cozy things, like blankets.
Okay.
And a pool would be cool. Like I don't or like a rooftop area, social area where you can like feel the breeze and see the sun. Is that not what you're asking for me for?
No, Okalan. Okay. All right. So let me just really review, because remember, we're looking for energy and frequency by how we feel things, right? So we want to, ultimately what we're going to end up doing is create a scene that you're living through these senses. That's part of it.
Okay.
So you got big condo. You're feeling grateful, excited, loved, secure, peaceful. Your body is relaxed because you've got big condo. Okay, your face is smiling so hard that it might even hurt a little bit, but it's good hurt, right? In big condo, it just smells like that pinon incense that you love, right? And you're in the dining room area. You have this really long table that is just filled with all of your friends, and you guys are laughing and drinking and joking around and playing games. And then afterwards, you guys go to the rooftop and you can feel that beautiful breeze against your body. How does big condo sound to you now?
Big condo sounds great.
Right? Bye, Debbie. Thank you. Okay, so that is your scene. That is the scene I want you to hang on to latch onto energetically.
What you just said just resonated with me about being like, are you worthy? And my initial thought was, I don't know if I deserve that.
Right.
That sounds amazing. Do I deserve that?
Well, that's something you have to see. You have to understand, like, I'm giving you techniques in which you can do all of these things, but that sounds like you have some worthiness and deservability issues that you got to work through.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. Totally normal, totally human. Say hello to Terrie. Nice to meet you. Totally fine, right? It is part of reality creation, because you have to believe that you are worthy of receiving this, because holy fuck, you can create this shit, right? So, but for what we're doing right now, for our sake, I want to show you this technique of how to, really work on getting this into your reality, right? So you have this scene. Does everybody understand how you would create a scene? Everybody got that? So Mia, now what you would do is you would write out 3 to 5 sentences describing this scene. In that you would put, that's why I wanted to break it down. So you would write what you're like emotionally feeling: grateful, excited, loved, secure. You'd feel peace. Your body, right? Because you're embodying this experience of big condo. We're putting that energy, we're inputting the data into your physical body, into your cellular DNA. Your face is smiling, your body's relaxed, right? You feel the breeze on the rooftop when you're with your friends. You guys were just sitting around, all of those things, right? So you're going to write out 3 to 5 sentence paragraph about that, incorporating all of those variables. There's 2 more things they're going to do after that. For the next week, 7 days, you're going to write out that paragraph 30 times every day. Sorry, guys. Joanna's face is like, fuck that.
Like, that's a lot of writing.
It is. What you're doing is you are really getting it ingrained into your subconscious, because if your subconscious doesn't believe something, guess what? It ain't gonna happen. And the subconscious doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. Yeah, no, it needs to be handwritten, Celeste. Good question. The reason why, and you know what sucks, I really hated this exercise. I admit it. I hated doing this. My coach made me do it 90 times.
It's a lot.
For 3 days in a row. I was like, I actually hurt my hand doing it. So I don't suggest you hurt your hands doing this. But yeah, so you're gonna want to do that 30 times for 7 days. It is handwritten. Oh, my battery is low. Hold on, I'm gonna move over. You guys, I got to do a little set change so I don't kill you guys. La 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 la. Too bad I don't have a live band. Now is when it would be great to play, huh? Okay, so you've done that, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. You just journal that out. And then you're going to replay that scene with all of those sensations in your body when you first wake up, like before you even pee. You're going to really feel into these sensations in the body. You're going to really imagine your friends there. You might even start singing. You're going to smell that pinon incense. I mean, you're going to make this extremely real, as if it's a lucid dream. Okay? You're going to do that when you first wake up in the morning. And then when you go to sleep at night, you're going to be thinking about this scene. You're going to be visualizing it yet again. And just fall asleep to it. You're going to do that all the time. that part is all the time. The hard part is going to be that decreasing the importance of it. Because you're putting in a lot of effort with intention, you know, in ingraining this in the subconscious mind and then thinking of it and then going, meh, set it aside. Because you know how it is. Like, I know, like, when I want a guy to text me and I'm like always thinking, like, how come I haven't heard from him? How come I haven't heard from him? It's my energy. I'm activating law of repulsion because I'm putting too much importance on it. So you just got to go, let it go. So it is this dance of energy. Now you got to remember, you have to remember that there is, you know, we're in the time-space continuum, and what you're asking for is physical. So it's going to take a while to get to the energetic place. But if you can already feel this in your body and you already have this gratitude, well, guess what? It already exists. You're just waiting for that physical manifestation. That's it. But it's already here. The one thing that I'm leaving out that you're really going to want to do is you're going to want to really design what your big condo is like. How much do you want to pay? Square footage. Where do you want it to be? How close to the freeway? You know, do you want that pool, that spa, whatever, right? So you do have to do that aspect too. Okay. Bye, Ashley. Thank you. I know we're going really long. I apologize. I just get so excited about this shit. So yeah. So this is one technique that we could be using. Okay. So yeah. Does anybody have any questions with that? Everybody get it? I know I've been talking a lot. Sarah, yeah.
I have a couple questions. Thank you. One of them is there's something I really want, but as you're talking through imagining the scene, like it's something I really want. Yeah. But I can't imagine the scene. So is it possible to want something and not really be in alignment with it? No.
Yeah. You can always want something and not be in alignment with it.
Like I want a promotion more than I want like anything in my life. But when I go to think about this, like this specific title I've been working towards, something else pops up entirely. So is the other thing that pops up the thing that I really should chase, or
you're being too sloppy with you have to get you have to be specific. What is it that you want? You know, it's this promotion. Well, what happens in the promotion? How do people treat you at work? What do you feel in your body? What are you smelling at work? What are you seeing at work? What are you feeling at work? You use as many physical senses as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have one other question.
Yeah.
For this kind of manifestation, if one of the things we're working on, which I am, is like cultivating more self-love and appreciation, can you use this to do that before you start trying to manifest the promotion, for example?
Yeah. Oh, I would always work on the energy things first before the manifestation, or before the physical manifestation, because the physical manifestation stuff will always show up. So things like deservability, worthiness, happiness, even physical health. Physical health is kind of weird because it's both physical and non-physical, you know? Yeah. You just have to always remember, if there's anything you can not forget, or just make sure you remember, is that the emotion is the manifestation. That's all that these things, what you want, this is what they're going to give you, right? So what Mia's really looking for, she just wants to feel grateful, excited, loved, secure, and peace. That's all she really wants. It's just that big condo, that's what big condo represents. So if she's already feeling her gratitude, excitement, love, secure, and peace, well, it doesn't matter what she labels those things in a physical world as, she'll just keep fucking getting that shit. And then big condo will come. But she'll keep getting stuff that give her those things. As long as she's preemptive gratitude isn't easy. It's not easy. I'm not saying this stuff is easy, but the emotion is the manifestation. We think by having these things, we'll feel a certain way. Really what we want is we want that feeling. right? Like, I want more money, because what does money represent to me? Freedom. Well, can't I find freedom in many different ways? As long as I'm feeling freedom, why do I need money? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ultimately, that's what we're going for. But we're humans. Again, remember, we have a physical and a non-physical side. So we're trying to feed both. And that's why emotions are super important to manage and balance and regulate, because the emotions are what will repel.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so at the start of this, you said like the third prompt would be, who are you now?
Yes.
And then the next prompt is, who do you want to be?
Yes.
How does the who are you now kind of play into all of this? Is it
this very moment, not who you want to be and not who you were? Who are you now? And then who do you want to be as that person who has big condo, for example? Because okay. For example, Mia right now doesn't have big condo.
right?
So she needs to create the identity of Mia having the big condo.
Okay.
So who is Hannah right now? And then who is Hannah going to be when she has that?
So that we can identify what fills the space from point A to point B.
Well, be open to the breadcrumbs of our soul leading us to that manifestation. Because if we already knew what to do, don't you think we'd do it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's the thing.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. So, good question. All right, guys, I've taken up a lot of your Sunday. I do apologize for it being so long, but you guys stuck around, so I'm hoping that means you liked it. I almost forgot we're doing a Soul Connection Sunday. I was like, oh yeah. Well, this was kind of a taste of what we do in Patreon. We meet once a week and we do several different things, but it's just like huge. We're small but growing, but there's a huge impact and real community feel. So if this is something that you like doing, please feel free to join us on Patreon. All the information will be below on the whole YouTube thing. But it's really about engaging and connecting with like-minded people. And my whole thing is like, let's just do whatever we can do to navigate this human experience as easily as possible and get into our intuition so that we can do it. So that's always where I'm coming from. And I'm just really energy oriented. But if you guys like this, please feel free to join the Patreon, or, if you want to work with me one-on-one, that's fine too. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here. And I do Soul Connection Sundays once a month. I'm in the process of finding another guest. Oh, maybe I'll do your fitness guest, Rebecca, for next for the next Soul Connection Sunday. I don't have the date just set just yet, but I send it on my email and all that. And then if you follow me on any of my social, I'm all over the place. I'm sure you guys can find me somehow, some way. And if not, you have my email, you can always ask. But yeah, thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. All right, you guys, you know how I gotta end with my tagline, right? Stay connected to yourself, stay connected to your friends and family, and of course, stay connected to me. You're welcome, Celeste. Thank you, guys.